Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2016. My name is Quirk, and welcome to the morning drive. So if you've never seen one of these before, basically what I do is I drive to work, and while I do, I answer comments, and it's basically that. If I run out of the comments, I start to ramble. So let's get right to it. First comment I have here is from Tabletop Banter, and it is, "Hey Quirk, if you could interject one mechanic from War Machine to 40K, what would it be?" I would probably have to say I'd switch the game over to a 2-dice system. That would be the one mechanic that I really like. It would make the game go a lot longer considering how many models are involved. But, that was bad. Yeah, I would definitely make it a 2-dice system, just because I'm a huge fan of basically a higher odds ratio. I don't like it being like, oh, I need a 6, so I have a 16% chance of getting this. I need an 8, so there's like I think it's 46% chance. But there's different combinations you can get. It's not just like, oh, there's that 1 6. There's combos on 2 dice that you can do to get it. So you can get like a 6 and a 2, a 5 and a 3, 2 4s, so on and so forth. So that's probably what I would try and switch it over to. It would take forever to play a game because you'd have to roll for every single shot 2 dice. So when you have those occasions where it's like, okay, here comes 108 attacks, you're like, okay, rolling 2 dice 108 times. So obviously it wouldn't work. I would like to see some way of adjusting that, I think, or adding some sort of a bonus to your roll, like it's 2 dice plus however many guys are involved in the shooting. So I think that would be kind of neat. So I'm just coming up to a stop here, and I will read the next comment. It's a school bus full of little children going to school to learn and hate their lives for the next 8 hours. Probably. Or it's a field trip and they're going to have a wonderful time, in which case, that's awesome. Cool. Lucky little jerk faces. Anyway, while I'm pulling up here, I tested something out last night, and if you're on my Facebook, you know what it is. I tried to record the Saturday morning gaming segment last night, mainly because I have a game on Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to actually do a Saturday morning gaming segment. And I recorded it on Twitch. Had a wonderful time. I can't stop yawning. Had an absolutely wonderful time. I actually met a couple people online who got in on the conversation with me. Turns out one of them was I'm not sure if he was saying he went to school for it. And what he was doing was actually he does sculpting, so he does like not miniatures, but he does busts and things like that. And I was like, that's freaking cool. So got talking to him, and we ended up joining a fire team in Halo 5, and just probably played for a good hour straight with this guy and all his buddies, and it was a very fun time. Met another guy who works at Popeyes. It was awesome. Here's the downside. When I recorded it, it recorded my voice. It did not record theirs. And I was so upset when I double checked it, because I was like, this is awesome. I'm having such a great conversation. People are going to love this. It's hilarious. These guys are funny. Like, it's perfect. And then it didn't record them. I don't know how to make Twitch record other people who I'm talking to. Mainly because I was afraid that if I did, they'd start swearing, but I can't really do much about that. People are allowed to do whatever they want. So this is my channel. If I wanted to, I could swear, I guess, but I don't really want to. So, but yeah, I was very bummed out when that didn't work. So I need to try and figure out some sort of way to make that work and try it all out again. But I think I know how I can make it work. I hope I do, but I'm gonna have to try that all over again. So if you guys got a chance to tune into that, I know one of you got a chance. There was somebody who was actually on the Twitch chat who was chit-chatting with me while I was playing. That was really, really cool. It was nice to have somebody on there. Definitely was like giving me a motivational speech when I was just getting my butt kicked in the game. Very much appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. It definitely helped. He was like messaging me, he's like, calming breaths, find your zen. I'm like, no, I want to kill something because I can't kill anything because everybody else has all the really good guns and I have a pistol. So anyway, I'm way past that red light now. I just started rambling. Next comment I have is from Marcelo M. Despot. Morning, mate. What is the oddest, weirdest, spooky, crazy thing you saw participating at MWG? Thanks and drive safe. the oddest thing. Probably the blood and guts challenge. I walked I walked into that by mistake and was not sure what I was doing. I was looking for something. I heard talking. I heard everything, and I was like, okay, if I'm really quiet, I'll just check, and the camera shouldn't be pointing at the door, so I can just kind of sneak in and grab it without having to worry about interrupting the filming. So I slowly open the door, I poke my head in, and there's like Dave slurping intestine and blood, and Steve's got like blood all over his face, and I'm like, oh, and then Neil's like biting into a liver. I'm like, what? And then just the smell. Oh, the smell. Oh, I was not ready for that. I was not mentally prepared for that smell. So that was probably the weirdest thing. So it sucked. It was terrible. If anybody ever is like, hey, you want to try eating intestine? Just politely say no. I appreciate it, but I'm okay. So next up I have Axis 762. So I believe the ending of the Path of Glory campaign airs today. Quirk, I really hope you win. I'm tired of Khorne getting all of the GW love. To me, Khorne is to Chaos what Ultramarines are to the game. Annoying everywhere. Khorne, the Ultramarines have the most individual models of their category. And then there's the Codexes. I wish Dave would have rolled another god. Anyway, keep up the good work and slaughter Bubbles. Whatever his name is. He'd look good getting run over by a Hellflare. Yes. I'm not going to spoil anything, because there may be some people who haven't seen it yet and want to enjoy it, but it is definitely a very, very good game. Some things happen, some things don't, and I very much enjoyed it. Not to give anything away, but I would definitely recommend it. The funny thing is, after we did that, we filmed a segment of answering comments and just talking about the campaign as a whole. That was actually more fun than playing the game, just because I got to just sit there and talk about all the little things and kind of got a chance to explain some stuff to you guys. Like, you know, some of the comments that we've been getting have been things like, oh, the games are all skewed in Dave's favor. A lot of those skews are actually my fault. It was an unintentional skew. What would happen would be things like, okay, the board seems really in my favor because I have a Helldrake and your Land Raider, like when we played on the Nurgle planet. I have a Helldrake, I have all these light little vehicles, I have Infiltrate, so I have a good couple ways of getting across the board. And Dave got the table edge where he was just stuck. So we read through, and it turns out that somebody can be the controlling player of the tornado. Excuse me. Somebody can be the controlling player of the tornado. We were like, okay, yeah, let's make Dave the controlling player of the tornado, because otherwise he's going to be absolutely screwed. Because I'm just going to come at him from all angles and wreck him. Like, I had no trouble whatsoever of putting a couple hull points of damage on that Land Raider, and he had nowhere to go with it. He had to try and take like 4 dangerous terrain tests just to get 6 inches away from me. Like, obviously not, but that's like the gist of what was happening. So basically it would be things like, okay, well, we'll give you that. Then when we did the Megalith one, I was saying, okay, well, it's going to be really, really simple for me to just take the Megalith, because you're supposed to put the Megalith in your deployment zone. Well, we got Vanguard deployment, so there's nothing stopping me from putting it in the very corner of the board, and then lining Rhino. Like, I had 5 or 6 rhinos at that point, 4 or 5. There would be nothing stopping me from putting like 2 and 2 to the point where he can't get models close enough to the Megalith to try and make those rolls. And then it would be 2 turns of him walking across the board while I'm rolling dice at a +1. Then 2 turns while he shoots and then charges one of the lines of rhinos. And then another turn while he tries to get to the next line of rhinos before he even gets to roll a die. By that point, I've rolled the die maybe 4 to 5 times. I needed to get to 20, and with the +1 roll there, I would be at least at minimum halfway to where I needed to be. So I mentioned that to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, this seems kind of broken." I'm like, well, what I'll do, because the way the board's set up and it would look really cool, is we'll stick it right in the middle. And then if you look at the rules here, I automatically start with somebody within 3 inches. So what I'll do is I'll just deploy one of my units there. That way I get the starting roll and I can start building the number, and then you can start coming in and trying to stop it. Because at that point we were thinking, well, it's going to be basically a game of I try and engage Dave to cancel out his breaking me while making sure I have a model close enough to get it, or Dave tries to engage and table me so that I can't build this megalith. And it got to the point where my number for the megalith was really, really high, and then I just whiffed every single dice roll. And he got so many good dice rolls that he just took out everything I possibly had to try and contest his board. And I had nothing to come back with, so he was able to get that +3 to the roll. So, yeah, it was definitely, I had a lot of fun with it. I definitely recommend, if you are a Vault member, to check out the, the commentary at the end. It's hilarious. I make fun of Dave a lot. So, I would recommend watching that. Next thing I have is from, Holy Oni Link. I think I pronounced that right. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry. If I didn't, if I'm sorry, I didn't. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Have you fought any of the MWG staff in Eternal Crusade? And if so, did you enjoy beating them? I assume you beat them in video games, being the young guy and all. I read this comment before and I got really excited this morning when I read it. Yes, I did. When I went on my trip to Montreal to go and do the interviews and everything with Behavior Interactive, they were actually nice enough to give me a code for everyone in the office. They all could get a copy of the game. And as soon as I got back, I said, hey guys, here's all your codes and everything. Matt jumped on it. I did not expect this from Matt, but he jumped on it. He got right in there, downloaded the game, started playing. And I walk in at one point, and he's like, oh, okay, the graphics are really cool. I got the controls. I waited for him to play a game. I waited for him to play at least one game to kind of get his bearings on what to do. I was like, okay, he's like, okay, well, I'll try one more. So the game loads up. I look at it. The timer's at like 19 minutes, so it's just started. So I jump on my computer and I pull it up, and I'm like, okay, gotta find this game. The thing is, at this point, Eternal Crusade didn't have a lobby selector for games. It was just you randomly got spit into whatever game was available. Well, I noticed that Dave was playing Space Marines, so I was like, okay, I need to play Chaos, and I need to just beat the crap out of Matt. I said Dave there, I meant Matt. Matt's playing as Space Marines. I have to jump on as Chaos and beat the crap out of Matt. So I jump on, I pull up a game. First thing I do, hit tab, check the names. Matt in here? No, quit. Go to the next one. Luckily enough, the second one, I pull it up, there's Matt. I was like, oh, nice, okay, sweet. So I start going in, and I'm running around. I have my headphones on, so you can't hear me playing. But I'm running around, and I have the one headphone off so I can hear Matt. And I see this one guy off in the distance, and I've got a Kami bolter, which is like the Storm bolter equivalent of the game. So I'm running up, and I'm like, oh, I see you. Okay, this is gonna be good. And he turns around, sees me, and I'm just like, brrr, got him. Completely dead. And all I hear is Matt go, what? Where did that guy even come from? Oh, this is so annoying. So I was like, that was awesome. So, next up, I hear him running, and I can hear shots firing off on his computer. They're quite a bit louder than where they are on my computer. So I'm like, okay, he must be closer to that tank. It was either a tank or a quad can or something. I don't know. It was a big gun. So he must be closer to it. So I start running towards that. And I see him, but he doesn't see me. He's walking straight. So I come running up behind him. And I'm right behind him. We're both sprinting. The thing is, you sprint at the same speed. So we're both going like that. And I'm like, oh, it would be great if I just melee killed him. He would just be so embarrassed. So I run up, and I swing. And I missed. And Matt goes, I can hear Matt in the other room. He's like, did somebody just swing at me? And I start giggling. He's like, Quirk, is that you? And I'm like, maybe. He's like, oh, this is here. He's like, you're on company time right now. And I'm like, nope, I'm off the clock. I'm shooting you. So funny joke there. But I start chasing him with the melee weapon. He's running. He turns around and it turns out he has a storm bolter. I was like, oh, that mistakes were made. Brrr, dead. So I was like, ah, crud. So it came down to a very interesting grudge match between Matt and I. Everyone in the office walked in and heard us yelling at each other and sat down like, this is hilarious. This is awesome to watch. So it was very, very fun. Yes, we do play in the office. So far, the only person I've gotten a chance to play against is Matt, and I beat him because my entire team of Chaos actually knew what they were doing. This was not because of me. It was the entire Chaos team. It was very fun. It was very good. So, thank you for that. That was a good moment. Next up, Brad Davidson. I saw the first 10 minutes of Blue Mountain State and wasn't impressed. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe if it's like the Community where you have to power through the first episodes before you get it. I'll try it again, Side. I have to say that I was a little disappointed that Futurama didn't get an honorable mention. You said comedies. That's the reason why I didn't mention Futurama. Now you're probably being like, what? Why? To which I will say, that show has made me want to cry more times than any other show in the world. There are episodes where, like, Fry becomes super smart, gets Leela, and then realizes that he can't do it because she doesn't like him, she likes his intelligence. So he dumbs himself down again, and then Leela leaves him. But he's, at the very end of the episode, he's trying to learn the instrument again so that he can impress her. That's sad. That is... I'm sorry, at the end of the day, when I'm like, I feel like a good laugh, that is not a good laugh. Or when it's like, oh, well, your dog lived to 13. Oh, he must have had a wonderful long life. And then it shows the dog's wonderful long life, and it was him sitting at the corner waiting for Fry to come back. That gets you right here in the feels. Yeah, that's sad. That was a tearjerker. I was upset. I was like, no, I wanted to laugh. I'm not laughing. This is painful. So that's why. I do very much enjoy the show. It is still one of my top favorite shows. I just wouldn't call it a comedy all the time. So, but yeah, Blue Mountain State, you kind of do have to power through the first episode. My guess is that the character Thad really kind of put you off, which is what happened to me when I watched it the first time. I was like, oh, I don't really care for this guy. He seems like a jerk. By like halfway through season 1, you're like, this dude's awesome. He's my hero. So, I would recommend giving it a second try. The thing is, you don't necessarily have to watch the first episode. You can watch any of them, and it kind of makes the point. But they do kind of make reference quite often to 2 episodes prior. So it's not required, but it does help. Next up, I have CJ Phoenix. What would be your superpower, and how did you contract it? Animal bite? Atomic blast? So many options. I don't know. If I had to pick one, it would be flight, because that's just boss. How did I contract it though? Turns out I'm an alien from another planet and the sun affects me. Wait, I can't. No, I'm not Superman. I don't know. I don't know how I would contract something like that. I got bit by a fly and now I can fly? I'm not very creative. It's early in the morning. My creative juices are not flowing. I haven't had an energy drink yet. Give it time. I'll have an energy drink and I'll just be like, I have a story to write about how I got superpowers. It's amazing. So, and the last comment I have here, and this is good because I got like 2 minutes before I'm in the office. Alex Kuprajak. Okay. Quirk, you're now my spirit animal for naming Clone High and undergrads in your top 5. That's awesome, but I didn't realize... Oh, I'm a spirit animal, folks. Hi. Does that mean I'm gonna be like on the... Oh... The Chinese New Year, like, it's the year of the Quirk. Oh, the year of Quirk is good. That was incredibly racist on my part. I'm sorry. It's early. I'm not really here. But yeah. It's the year of the Quirk. Please don't make that a thing. I was totally kidding there. Don't make that a thing. That would be terrible. Ooh. Anyway, when I was playing on Twitch last night, the one guy goes... So, and this is something that just made me feel really good, and at the same time, the person I was playing with was just like, huh, this never happens. I hear stories about this happening, but it never actually happens. And he's playing, and I'm telling, I let them know ahead of time, like, I have a Twitch feed going, guys, just so you know, it's for my YouTube channel, so just a quick heads up, if you don't want to be in on it, I'll mute your voice throughout the thing, but I'm going to be talking to you, so it won't make full sense. They're both like, yeah, we don't care, that's fine, whatever, that's awesome, what's the YouTube channel? So I start explaining what I do, I start explaining mini wargaming, and the one guy goes, oh, my brother's like super into tabletop miniatures, like he plays 40k all the time. I was like, oh really, does he know what mini wargaming is? Like, hang on a second, I'm going to call him. So the guy calls him. He goes, hey man, do you ever hear of a company called Mini Wargaming? He goes, yeah, I watch their stuff all the time. Why? He's like, playing with a dude called Quirk on Xbox right now, and he's on his mic. Through the phone, I can hear, oh my god, where? Let me in the game right now, I'm coming over. I'm like, huh, that's cool. This guy got off the phone, he's like, so apparently my brother knows who you are. I was like, yeah, I caught that. So I thought that was awesome. I was like, oh, cool. I have a fan. And people who enjoy me, but the fan usually keeps me cool at night. Like, walks back and forth. It's quite nice. Holy cow, I'm tailgating Matt. Nope, that's not Matt. That looks like Matt's car, except it's not as blue. It's less blue. Anyway, I am officially at work, guys. So, thanks so much for your comments. They were absolutely wonderful, and I had a wonderful time talking about them today. As always, if you want your comment read or question answered, leave a comment below, and I will definitely read it if I get to it on the morning drive. As always, like, comment, share, and until then, I will see y'all tomorrow. Happy wargaming.